Okay, guys, good morning. My name is Kiran. So, hope everybody hear me and please acknowledge so that we can start.
Yeah, hi Kiran.
Hi, Ashok. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I see only Ashok is acknowledging. What about the rest of the guys?
Yes, you are audible. Good morning.
Good
Yeah, we
morning.
can hear you.
Ankur, yeah.
Good morning.
Okay, guys, let me start then. I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when it is visible to you. Is
Yeah,
my
it's
screen visible?
visible. Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So guys, just to start with, there will be no presentation, no PPT. It will be a whole soul diagram that I will be going to make in front of you. And I will not be showcasing any PPT. It will be 50-50. 50% we will be learning theory and the 50% we will be doing the lab practice. So to start with, hope everybody knows what is VMware. Hello. Do we know what is VMware?
Yeah, we know.
Okay. What is the VMware, guys?
VMware is basically a virtualization software.
Okay.
In
So,
simple words, it
mhm,
also comes with hypervisor, which is used to control VMs, means virtual machines.
okay,
Like that, today we are going for NSX-T, which is network virtualization.
okay. So, VMware started a product called VMware Virtualization. Called vSphere. Then after that, in vSphere we have two things. What we have? vCenter and ESXi host. Then, if we talk about networking, in vCenter we'll talk about two things: VSS and VDS. Can somebody tell me what is VSS and VDS?
Virtual distributed switch and virtual standard switch.
It's a standard switch and a distribution switch.
Okay, and then we'll discuss about the shortcomings of them. Do anyone know the shortcomings of these two switches?
No, Kiran. No
We'll
idea.
discuss about it, not an issue. Then we'll target about shortcomings or NSXV and its shortcomings. And just for information, NSXV is end of life and end of support, both. Then we'll talk about NSX-T architecture and how it is related to SDN technology. Guys, anybody know what is SDN?
Software defined network.
So in this, if we talk about software-defined networking, we have three components that we will target. The one is MP, management plane, CP, control plane, and the last one is data plane. SDN decouples these three planes. And we will talk about them, about this architecture more in detail. Then we'll talk about installing and config NSX-T managers and integrating it with compute manager. Does anyone know what is compute manager?
Yes, P-Center.
Correct. This is the only compute manager we have within the NSX-T. Then we'll talk about installing licenses and backup and restore. Preparing your ESXi host for NSX-T consumption. So in this scenario, we can have not only ESXi, but we can also integrate bare metal servers. KVM is not supported in version 4.0. We'll talk about containers, Kubernetes, and cloud. These are also supported, but we can't cover it because we don't have lab for it. Any questions, guys, till now? Any questions from anyone? Hello, guys, if somebody wants to say, please go ahead.
Hello, Kiran.
Sir,
I have some.
Sir, I have a question actually.
Yeah.
If I don't know completely about vSphere or KSXi and all, can I jump into NXT? Means that also included, na? That basics will be included right here.
When I will be covering basics, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I will be covering VSS, VDS, what is vCenter, ESXi host.
Okay.
So that are sufficient for you to go through with NSX-T.
Yes, that's fair. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So then we'll cover transport zones. We'll cover something called Geneve. Geneve is nothing but a subset of VXLAN. Then we'll talk about logical switches or segments. Tier 1 and Tier 0 gateways. Deploying NSX-T edges required for Tier 0 gateway. East-west communication. And the Tier 0 is required for north-south communication. Then we'll talk about the most important feature. Feature of NSX-T called distributed firewalls. Then we'll cover gateway firewalls. Services is an NSX-T, like load balancing, IPsec VPN, L2 VPN, and the last we'll cover something called APIs. Means automation in NSX-T using APIs. So these will be the topics, guys, we will be covering in this NSX-T classes. Does anyone have any concern, any issues?
Yeah, hi Kiran. I just want to know NSST and AVI load balancing both are different, right?
Yes.
I have VMware knowledge. I am working with VMware, but we are implementing the AVI load balancer. So, and the organization has NSST to migrate to the that all the regarding that firewall something they migrating to the AVI load balancer. Means what is this process? Do you know in little bit?
Avi load balancer is not in the scope, man. It's a completely different thing, right? So if we talk about
Okay.
Avi load balancers, then we have to uh, look for another things.
Okay. And NSXT required networking related knowledge. I don't have much more knowledge about network.
Yes, there is some prerequisite for NSX-T.
Okay.
First, let me write down the prerequisites. Like you must be CCNA certified, or not certified means CCNA like knowledge. Second, you should know fundamentals of vSphere. This I can cover, but you must know the CCNA. I mean, you must have the knowledge on CCNA. How
Hello,
routing works.
Okay. Okay.
hello,
How,
sir.
yeah.
I was actually taking this section, actually getting prepared for my CCNA certification. So I believe this will help me, but with the prerequisites, I think I can continue,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it will be beneficial because I will be talking about some of the concepts of CCNA in NSXT as well. So it is great if you are having this or you're going to these trainings.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir, I have a query. Yeah. Actually, I don't have any networking knowledge as of now, but I'm ready to invest time to learn the things which you called as prerequisites. I can
Mm-hmm.
pick up the technology, right? Actually, I'm going to join a distribution company as a pre-sales consultant. Till
Okay.
now, I actually worked as a kind of a techno commercial guy for Nutanix till now. From next month, I'm joining one distribution company as a pre-sales consultant. So they are going to train me on the complete product portfolio and all, but I want to learn more so that uh, I'm taking this course. It will be helpful, right?
Man, I don't know what will be a portfolio in your distribution company. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if it includes, if they require VMware NSX-T, fine.
Yeah.
But it definitely depends upon your job role.
Yeah, but apart from job role, I'm ready to learn different technologies around VMware because
Mhm.
anyhow have to be the consultant or a point of contact for the subject matter. So
Mhm.
I just want to invest on learning. Is that fine to continue?
Yeah, it is fine to continue, man. Learning never ends.
Yes. Yeah. That's what that means. If you say any other alternatives are there or other prerequisites are there, I just want to reconsider that. So I asked this
There is
question.
no other prerequisite, man. If you know the CCNA, means if you have the knowledge, if you know the fundamental of vSphere, then you are good to go to
Yeah.
bang on.
Okay, man. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Now, the most important, because if we are going to do this theory, then we need to talk about the labs as well. So the labs, we will not be providing any labs, but yes, we will be using something called VMware HOL. HOL labs for practice. So now you can do as many as practice you want to. You just need to, I think it will be allowed for 9 hours within a day. You can do the practice on VMware HOL. So there are few labs which we'll be targeting during our this course. And about support, we do provide support. Support you guys during any interviews, or if you are preparing for any certificate or VMware certificate. We do because in I think when I took the last batch, 2 or 3 guys contacted me for their interview preparation. So I believe one got selected in one company, and few were looking for certification as well, and I helped them, or we helped them to get this certification. Any questions from anyone, guys?
But sir, please, will you equally provide support for CCNA certification, sir?
CCNA certification is not covered, but yes, we can provide support. Not an issue. I
Okay.
personally can provide support. Not an issue on that.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you very much. I really need your help, sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Are we good to start, or anyone has any concern? Or they do, or you guys are looking for something that we need to add on?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, before there is a VMware vSphere is like we go for training somewhere. So first they provide a VMware vSphere. So this is we are using here the VMware vSphere here.
Okay. So the NSX-T, yes, you should know the VMware vSphere, because we will be using the vCenter and the ESXi host.
Okay, okay. And the vCloud is also is one part of the VMware here.
Are talking about vCloud Director?
Yes, yes, yes.
VMware Cloud Director can be integrated with your vCenter and the NSX-T, but we are
Okay.
not covering that part.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Any concern from anyone, guys? Feel free to ask your questions or queries if you have any.
Yeah.
Hello. Yes.
Yeah. I think what I'm very interested about is the what's it called? The during the upgrade exercise of what's it called? vSphere 8, moving from vSphere 7 to vSphere 8. What what's it called? What happens to uh NXST during this migration? Because in my environment, I tried checking the compatibility, but I realized it's it's kind of flagging NST. You know what I mean? So I think I'm not sure will your what's it called discussion cover what's it called migration and upgrades and stuffs like that for NXST.
Okay, so if you are planning to upgrade your vCenter from 7.0 to 8.0, then you need to check the compatibility matrix.
Matrix.
What version of NSX-T is supported, and then accordingly you need to plan to upgrade your NSX-T environment.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Will it be covered during this what's it called
No
talk?
upgrade. No. But I can guide you if you need any assistance in upgradation.
Okay, all right, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Any more questions, or are we good to go? Okay. So starting with, I'll cover few topics in the demo classes. The one of the topic that I will be covering is your vCenter in the ESXi host, your VSS and VDS, and NSX-T architecture. These three topics I will be covering in the demo. So the demo will be today and tomorrow, and it will be only for 1.5 hours, not more than that.
Sir, my question is, what is the difference between NXT and hypervisor like EXI host?
I'll explain you, man. Just be with me. Okay. Now, does anyone know what is ESXi? Why we need ESXi?
ESXi is hypervisor. We need hypervisor to manage VMs, means virtual machines.
So means, for example, let's say I have a bare metal server. On this bare metal server,
We install it on bare metal.
Riyaz, can you mute
Actually,
your...
hypervisor is like a software.
Sorry, yeah, we can hear you.
Riyaz, can you mute yourself, please?
Okay,
Unmute
yeah.
yourself. Yeah, please.
Yeah,
please.
I'm
Thank you, man. Bare metal server. On the top of this bare metal server, we are going to install a operating system. What is the operating system here? We have the something called VMware ESXi. When we are going to install this hypervisor on the bare metal server, we are going to configure it a VDS. Sorry, my bad. VSS. And VSS stands for VMware Virtual Switch. This VSS will be connecting to your top of rack switch. This is your top of rack switch. It can be any switch. It can be Cisco, it can be Juniper, it can be Netgear, it can be any switch. This VSS, I am going to connect to my top of rack switches. And this VSS is connecting to the top of rack using something called VMNIC zeros. What is VMNIC zeros and VMNIC 1? VMNIC 0 and VMNIC 1 are your physical
network adapter
on your bare metal server. Correct? Any questions? Yes, guys. Any questions from anyone?
Kiran,
No.
what is PO on switch? Kiran.
Sorry, can you come again, please?
Yeah, you mentioned that TOR switch, right? What is that one?
TOR means top of rack.
Okay.
If I say something like that, TOR means top of rack switch. Now this VSS will be configured automatically when you are going to configure or install VMware ESXi on a bare metal server. And as soon as you do that, there will be one logical interface configured on VSS, something called VMK0. So guys from VMware can tell me what is VMNIC 0?
VM kernel port.
Why we use this?
For vMotion
VMNIC is
management.
always used for management. So
Yeah,
when
we configure, we also configure VMNIC ports for the vMotion as well, right?
Yes, we can configure multiple VMNIC interfaces, sorry, VM0 interfaces. but 0 is always for the management. So when we are going to configure this, we are going to have something called the management IP address on this. And the management IP address I'm going to assign will be something like, let's say 10.1.1.10/24. So this process will be covered during the initial configuration. Any concern, guys? Any questions from anyone? Or you know about it? Am I boring you guys?
No, sir, it's not boring. It's good. Good to go. Following.
Okay. Yeah.
Moving ahead, what we are going to do, we are going to configure a VM. Let's say I want to configure a VM. So does anyone know what we require to configure a VM?
Resources are required,
like CPU,
CPU, memory.
RAM, and storage. So who will provide this storage, CPU, and RAM to this VM?
Hypervisor.
Hypervisor, right? So ultimately, your CPU, RAM, and storage is available on the bare metal server. As soon as your VM requires this, it will make an API query to your hypervisor, and hypervisor make an API query to your bare metal server, and the resources will be allocated to the VM. Do you think VM requires something else as well?
Network.
Network, correct. And the network that I'm going to configure here is something called VNIC. So now if we talk about, we learn three important terminology of vSphere in networking. One is something called VMNIC 0 or VMNICs. These are the physical interfaces. Then we talk about VMK interfaces. And then we talk about the VNICs. And these are important because most of the people get confused. And these are interview questions as well. Okay, any questions from anyone?
Sir, VNIC is a virtual NIC card or physical
Yes.
NIC?
There is no physical, it's a virtual NIC.
And the VMNIC 0 is one?
These are the physical interfaces. These are the physical NIC.
Okay.
Now, do you see any kind of issues with the VMs or VSS? Let's talk about shortcomings of VSS. Do you know any issues with the VSS?
If you're creating if you have multiple ESXi hosts, you have to configure port groups in each of the ESXi hosts individually.
Can we say like this?
Yeah.
Scalability?
Yes.
Any other issue? Most of the services are not supported on VSS. Like
Yeah, vMotion, DRS.
DRS is supported, vMotion, oh sorry. In VSS, vMotion is supported, DRS is not supported, is correct. Services like NSX-T is not supported.
Sir, what is the full form of VSS?
Virtual standard switch.
No support for NSX-T, as well as there is no support for NetFlow. So the networking guys know what is NetFlow. And this we will not cover, but yes, NetFlow is required to integrate your vSphere environment with something called VRNI. We realize network insights.
But there is no vRealize. Everything is changed to ARIA operations.
ARIA,
right?
correct. It has been renamed to ARIA. It's a complete umbrella. Even if you talk about Verni, VRA, we still call them as we realize net. Oh, sorry, what we say? VRA. I forgot the name, man. Automations. We realize automation. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been renamed, fine, but people like me or customers still call them as Verni or vRealize suits.
Yes.
Okay.
vRealize lock inside.
Yes. Even we have VROps, VRA, something we then we have VRLI login sites. So it's a complete suite of products. Okay. Moving ahead. Now, these are the shortcomings of VSS. Now, guys, give me a minute, please. Okay, guys. Now let's talk about VDS. Anyone know what is VDS?
It's virtual distributed switch.
What do we require for VDS?
vCenter.
Okay. Anything else?
Multiple ESXi hosts.
Okay. And
license enterprise.
Most important. For VDS, you need to buy the enterprise license. Let's talk about VDS. So it is not advisable to manage the ESXi host standalone. Okay. So what you need to do? You need to configure an appliance. This appliance is called as vCenter. This is not a hardware. This is just a virtual machine. Through this vCenter, I am going to configure my multiple ESXi host. So the vCenter is only a management component. It has nothing to do with the traffic. When I'm going to integrate my ESXi host with vCenter,
Yeah. Sure. I'm going for soccer.
this vCenter will be connected to your protocol, something called VPXA. This is called VPX. This VPXA will create a user called VPX user, and every configuration that vCenter is going to do, it will be doing via something called VPX. I know it is not related to networking, but you should know about it. This VPXA in return will be communicating to your host D. Any questions, guys? This is for people who does not know the VMware. Any questions? Anyone? Am I correct, guys, or there is any concern?
Next week le chum chukutung ata. Next week na after next week le. Ina. Matu mera ade.
Guys, can you go on mute, please?
Imede.
Tashi. Somebody logged into Tashi iPhone. Can you go on mute, please?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Now, when I'm going to configure my switch from vCenter, let's say I'll create a VDS. And VDS stands for something called Virtual Distributed Switch. This vCenter is going to configure a VDS, and after this, a new switch will be installed on the ESXi host. I'm teaching you this because when I'm going to cover the NSX-T, VDS is required. So if somebody knows the VDS and they are saying why I'm wasting your time, guys, please apologize for the same, but it is very important concept. This VDS will be connecting to your top of rack switches. And if when we start the classes, I'll showcase you how to create a VDS and how to integrate multiple ESXi hosts with the VDS. Any questions from anyone? Guys, feel free to ask questions. No questions? Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay. Means either everyone is liking it or nobody is liking it. Now, when I have this VDS configured, I will be creating a VM, let's say VM1. VM2 and VM3. Now tell me this VM1, VM2 and VM3 are connected to same port group. Guys, do you know what is port group?
No, sir.
Anyone from network from VMware background?
It's a channel.
Okay. Anything else?
So basically, like as a VLAN.
Port
So it's
group?
like
It is like a
grouping of
VTP. It's a VTP. In
Okay.
network, Cisco says VTP.
Okay.
So
And
VLAN is getting propagate to the all the hosts using this port group.
okay.
so I think it's grouping of switch ports from different devices.
Port group is nothing is equal to or not equal to VLAN. Means if I configure a port group, I can create a single VLAN. I can create a port group, it's a name, and I can bind it to a single VLAN, or I can create port group 2 and bind it to multiple VLANs. Second, port groups also define the characteristics of your interfaces. Defines characteristics of your interfaces, like quality of service, your what will say security settings, and many more, net flow, and many more. So when we are going to configure the VDS, I'm going to configure a port group on VDS on the vCenter, and it will be distributed to multiple ESXi hosts. And this port groups in VDS is called as distributed port group. So now, let's say I have a VM1 connecting to VDS on, let's say, port group 1. Port group 1. Port group 1 means I am assigning a VLAN 100. Now VM2 is also connecting to VDS on port group 1. And the same thing applies for VM3 as well. Now tell me how these VMs will communicate. Yeah, guys. Now tell me how this will communicate. Any idea? Or no idea? Guys from VMware network, VMware background? Hello? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
So can anyone let me know how VM1, VM2, and VM3 will communicate?
These ESXi have uplink ports, so it's connected in tar switch. So the VDS switch is centralized, so it will communicate. These three VM will communicate via VDS switch. The VDS switch have the ports, right? Distributed switch ports.
Okay. So you are saying the communication will happen via VDS?
VM will connect to VDS, and VDS switch have uplink ports, each and every ESXi server. That uplink ports connected to tar switch, right?
Okay. And the communication will happen via Tor switches.
Yeah, if it is a different ESXi. If it is in same ESXi, it will communicated within the switch, right?
Okay. Anyone else?
Sir, I think in that vCenter, I have to populate all these port groups. Otherwise, through vCenter, it will not communicate because all XSI hosts are connected with Tor switch. So within XSI host, the communication will happen, but between inter XSI host, communication will not happen until we populate all this in vCenter.
Man, vCenter is a management plane. It has nothing to do with your data plane.
Right, sir.
Okay. So if I'll okay. Let me open another image. This is your vCenter. This vCenter is connecting to your ESXi host 1. 2 and 3. Now I have a VDS. I have a VDS here as well, and I have a VDS here as well. Let's say this is my physical switch 1, and this is my physical switch 2. Let's say red VM. Oh, sorry. Now let's say I have red VM, VM1, and let's say I have a red VM1 here as well. So if I talk about red VMs, means VM1, VM2, and VM3 are on same port group. And I'll introduce another VM, let's say VM4. VM4 is on another port group. Now tell me how VM1, VM4, VM2, VM3 will communicate. I'm asking this question because our NSX-T is entirely depend upon these traffic flows. Because there are some of the shortcomings of VDS. One, that's why we need VSS and VDS. Sorry, NSX-V and NSX-T. Now tell me how VM1, VM2, and VM3 will communicate.
Since it's all in same port group, it will go to VDS switch and then tar switch and then again VDS and then VM, which will communicate like that.
Correct. Correct. Means VM1 wants to communicate with VM2. The traffic will go to the VDS. From VDS to Tor, and from Tor to another Tor or might be on the VDS, and it will be on the ESXi host and to the VM2. Fine. No issues. Good to go. Now, VM1 and VM4 are on different port groups, are on same ESXi host. Then tell me how the traffic will flow.
Since it's a different port group, I mean VLAN, again it will go tar switch and come back.
No.
It is, yeah.
No. If VM1 and VM4 are on different port groups, means let's say the gateway for blue is 10.1.2.1/24 and the gateway for red is 10.1.1.1/24. The gateway is on the core switch, means the VM1 wants to communicate with VM4. Although these both VMs are on same ESXi host, the traffic from VM1 will go via Tor1, via core switch, again return back to Tor1 and Tor1 to VDS1 and to VM4. Means I'll say that this traffic is going to the physical environment and then returning back to from the physical. It's an unnecessary wastage of your bandwidth. Can we say like this? Means if VM wants to communicate, the traffic will go to the VDS, VDS to Tor, Tor to core, core will do the interrouting, and interrouting the traffic will return to core to Tor, then Tor to VDS and VDS to VM4. Can we say like this?
Yeah, yes, right. Because the gateway is different. Yes, right.
So do you think, is it feasible that two VMs residing on same ESXi host needs to communicate via the outside world? Yes, tell me. No, right? It is unnecessary wastage of your bandwidth. That's why it is not a feasible solution to route the traffic to the outside world. This is one of the advantage of NSX-T environment, where I will make sure that VM1 and VM4 should communicate to each other and the traffic will not go outside. And I will show you when we'll talk about the logical segments. The second advantage of using NSX-T will be the micro segmentation. You know what is micro segmentation? Do you know what is micro segmentation? The micro segmentation will allow us to host two VMs either on same logical segments or same port group, should either communicate or not will be under our control. Means I will be imposing the firewall rules on the VNIC of the VM. Means of the VMs. Means if I don't want these two VMs to communicate, I will be imposing the firewall rules. Guys, this is just an overview. When we'll talk about more in detail in the classes, then I'll elaborate more. These are few of the advantages why we need NSX-T. And I'll share more advantages when we'll talk about the NSX-T in more detail. Now you understood why we need NSX-T? What is the use of NSX-T? Yes, guys. Tell me if you have any concern.
Sir, these firewall rules will be implemented on VM in vCenter or in NSX-T?
No configuration related to networking will be done on the vCenter. We will do the configuration on the NSX-T end. Because we will be installing a dedicated NSX-T manager. And from there, we will be doing all the configuration. So guys, these are some of the advantages of NSX-T. So tomorrow when we are meeting, I'll showcase you what is SDN, why NSX-T is called as SDN, and then we'll talk about the NSX-T architecture.
And sir, for tomorrow's class, just tell me that what are the terminologies we should first browse in internet. Suppose we are not from a deep network background. So these terminologies we should familiarize with so that when you teach us, then it will be helpful for us. Otherwise, we will keep on blinking.
You just need to understand how the routing and switching is working in the physical environment. That's it. BGP I will cover.
Right.
Some part of BGP I'll cover. You should go and watch the traffic flow, how the routing and the switching is happening. That will be sufficient enough. Tomorrow we will be talking about the NSX-T architecture, and then from there we will proceed further. Any concerns? Anything anyone wants to share?
Kiran, if your training is over, please let me know. So we can
Yeah,
announce.
I'm almost done for the day.
Okay.
We can focus tomorrow then.
Okay, just 1 second. Thanks, guy. Actually, thanks, Kiran, for today's training. So 2 days we are running a campaigning for NSX-T pre-booking offer. So we are giving a 20% off if you guys are paying today or tomorrow max. So we are running a campaign of If Indian customer just paid 12K and the international customer just pay $160. Request you to please contact to our sales guy. We are mentioned in the chat box. If you have any Q&A, please let us know. I just share a pre-booking form. Request everybody to please fill a pre-booking form. So our team will be get back to you and will consider this offer. If you guys have put a pre-booking form, your detail. Request you to please insert a pre-booking form. Hello, is it? I'm audible, guys. Hello?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, just guys, please free to fill a pre-booking form so we can consider for the offer. So Monday our pricing will be increased to 15K as standard, and international we're charging a $200. If guys any concern, please let us know. So offer is valid till tomorrow, 15 and 16. So guys, we have started a Q&A session. If you guys any question and answer, so Kiran sir will answer you. Hello, we have started a Q&A, guys.
This training includes complete lab and kind of an hands-on training also, right?
Basically hands-on lab on the VMware platform, right, Kiran? It's a
Yes,
hands-on
yes.
lab in the
Yes.
sandbox. It's sand model actually. It's a sandboxing model is then the VMware offering to the customer. It's a free. As and when required, you just book a slot and you can use it. I think Kiran, can you share the URL for the HOL? So they will just check it.
Yes, that I'll share tomorrow, man.
Oh, okay, guys. Tomorrow Kiran sir will share you your lab, how to build a lab on the HOL.
Okay.
It's free lab, so anybody can use it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Basically, VMware built for all the customer.
Want to test your solution, you can do anything on the HOL, man. Okay, guys, I think I'm dropping off now. We are dropping off. If you have any concern, feel free to connect with us on WhatsApp, and we'll try to answer all.
And also register in the pre-booking form, guys. So we
Yeah,
just
okay.
get back to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We are sending details in the WhatsApp group also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.